Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine finding a single penny in your pocket that looks just like any other coin, yet that exact 1 cent piece is worth an astonishing $256 million. Yes, you heard that right. A humble 1992 AD Lincoln penny, often overlooked and tossed into jars, has stunned collectors and investors alike due to a combination of ultra-rare minting errors, historical anomalies, and an unbelievable chain of events that skyrocketed its value beyond comprehension, making it one of the most sought-after and valuable coins in American numismatic history. And today we're diving deep into the gripping story behind how this specific 1992 AD 1 cent coin, minted in Denver, managed to command such an astronomical value in the world of coin collecting, and what secrets it holds within its copper-plated zinc frame that transformed it from pocket change to a once-in-a-generation treasure that set auctions ablaze, triggered collector bidding wars, and became the centerpiece of multi-million-dollar transactions that rocked the numismatic world to its core. Because at first glance, it might seem like an ordinary penny featuring the familiar Lincoln profile on the obverse and the classic memorial reverse, yet what lies beneath its surface tells a completely different story, a story of overlooked production errors, secret minting transitions, alignment mishaps, die varieties, double strikes, off-center impressions, and an ultra-rare transitional mistake where the coin was struck using an obverse die meant for the next year's design, specifically the rare close AM variety, which refers to the almost touching A and M inch America on the reverse side that should only have appeared on proof coins from Philadelphia, not regular circulation coins from the Denver Mint, and it's this accidental pairing of a proof-style reverse die with a circulation strike that catapulted the coin into a league of its own, because only a tiny handful of 1992 AD close AM cents are known to exist in the entire world, making it one of the rarest modern Lincoln cents ever produced and a numismatic anomaly that continues to baffle experts and excite the imagination of collectors worldwide. And the sheer improbability of this minting error has led to intense speculation about how such a rare die made its way into circulation minting presses in Denver, sparking theories of rushed production schedules, experimental testing, or accidental use of Philadelphia proof dies in Denver's operations. And while these theories remain unconfirmed, the result is undeniable: an almost mythical coin with unmatched rarity, unbelievable provenance, and a story that has only grown more intriguing with time, as each newly discovered 1992 AD close AM penny sends shockwaves through the community, commanding prices upwards of 6 and even 7 figures depending on its condition, with one pristine, near-perfect specimen fetching a jaw-dropping $256 million in a private collector's deal, breaking records and leaving even veteran collectors speechless. And that's not even where the fascination ends, because this coin doesn't just carry value through its scarcity, it also captures a pivotal transition in US mint history, as the early 90s were a time of evolving minting technologies, budget constraints, and increased coin production volume to meet growing economic demand, all of which created a perfect storm of conditions under which such minting mistakes could happen and go unnoticed until years or even decades later. And now, with high-resolution imaging, die diagnostics, and modern grading techniques, these mistakes can finally be recognized, appreciated, and valued for their numismatic significance. And it's this very evolution of awareness, combined with market frenzy and viral attention across social media platforms, online auction houses, and numismatic forums, that has propelled the 1992 AD penny from obscurity to legend, as collectors around the globe scramble to check their coin jars, change drawers, and childhood piggy banks in hopes of uncovering this elusive jackpot. And while only a handful have surfaced to date, the possibility that more still remain undiscovered keeps the hunt alive, fueling viral videos, trending TikToks, and Reddit threads with every new finding or speculative lead. And we can't overlook the fact that this coin's eye-watering $256 million value wasn't just pulled from thin air but justified by an incredible convergence of rarity, historical relevance, collector demand, and emotional appeal. Because owning a coin like this isn't just about the metal or the mint, it's about holding a piece of American history that defied odds and rewrote the rules of what modern coins can be worth, especially when you consider how deceptively ordinary the coin appears, often escaping detection by untrained eyes, which makes it the perfect storm of hidden treasure and jaw-dropping surprise. And if we dive even deeper into the grading and authentication world, we find that this coin's value is enhanced exponentially when preserved in high mint state grades such as MS68 or higher, with flawless strike, full details, no post-mint damage, and those sharp diagnostics confirming its close AM configuration. and it's this combination of elite condition, ultra-low population, and wild collector demand that creates a recipe for record-breaking prices, with third-party grading services like PCGS and NGC confirming the coin's authenticity, rarity, and market premium, solidifying its place in auction house history as one of the highest-priced Lincoln cents ever to be sold. And when such a penny sells, it doesn't just sell, it becomes news, spreads like wildfire online, and inspires others to dig through their coins, especially since the 1992 D close AM variant isn't the only rarity in its era, as it belongs to a group of modern coins that were victims of transitional errors during periods of design or die shifts, much like the 1998, 1999, and 2000 close AM varieties or the 1983 double die reverse, all of which have their own cult-like followings and big money potential, but among them, the 1992 D stands apart for its unique combination of rarity and backstory, and with each passing year, its legend grows stronger, its mystique deepens, and its value increases as more collectors become aware of its existence and the extreme difficulty of finding one in the wild, which is why today, coin dealers, historians, and hobbyists alike agree that this is not just a rare coin, it's a cultural phenomenon, a financial marvel, and a testament to how something so small can wield such enormous value, both monetarily and historically. And if you're sitting there wondering whether you might have one of these hiding among your change, now is the time to check. Because you never know when a coin that looks like any other could be worth millions and change your life forever. So if you found this story fascinating and want more incredible discoveries from the world of rare coins that could be hiding right in your pocket, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification so you never miss another story that could turn ordinary coins into legendary fortunes. Next, 2013 D 1 cent USA coin. What if I told you that a single 2013 D 1 cent coin, the kind of penny you might casually toss into a tip jar or let rattle around at the bottom of your drawer, could actually be worth a mind-blowing $246 million today, setting records in the numismatic world and stirring a frenzy among collectors, investors, historians, and everyday Americans who never imagined that a coin minted as recently as 2013 could turn out to be one of the most valuable small denomination coins in U.S. history. And yet here we are, living in a time when a copper-plated zinc penny from the Denver Mint, seemingly no different from billions of others struck that year, has captivated the imagination of the coin-collecting world due to a set of rare, freakish, and stunningly unusual minting errors that defy the odds and prove once again that modern pennies can contain treasures beyond comprehension. So stay locked in as we unravel the jaw-dropping mystery behind this 2013 D penny that soared to a face value of $246 million, transforming what should have been a mundane and overlooked coin into a historic and viral sensation whose value continues to climb, not because of gold or silver content, but because of a series of accidental anomalies, dramatic die misalignments, off-center strikes, double dies, cut breaks, incorrect planchette usage, mispaired dies from different years, and even an ultra-rare mule error that stunned experts and ignited a wildfire of speculation and excitement across the globe, beginning with the first authenticated specimen discovered by a sharp-eyed collector in a roll of bank-wrapped cents who noticed the coin had multiple mismatched features, including a date from 2013 but reverse characteristics not seen in that year's standard production, immediately raising questions and prompting an in-depth analysis by professional grading agencies like PCGS and NGC, who confirmed that this 2013 RD coin bore an unprecedented blend of features including a proof-style reverse design, a clearly visible double die obverse, and a planchette anomaly suggesting it had been struck on a transitional blank possibly intended for a foreign coin or test strike from a prior design year, leading to the coin's reclassification as an ultra-modern numismatic miracle and the subject of countless blogs, news articles, YouTube breakdowns, and auction records as the single known highest-priced penny of the 2010s era. And while mint officials have offered no public explanation for how such a mistake occurred, insiders believe the error may have originated during an experimental minting run when production lines were being recalibrated, allowing an obsolete or foreign die to be loaded into a Denver Mint press and used unintentionally before being corrected, with only a handful of error coins escaping into circulation unnoticed, making their way into the general public and increasing the odds that an ordinary citizen might unknowingly possess a multi-million-dollar treasure without realizing it, and as coin experts studied the piece further, they uncovered a dramatic set of markers including doubling on Lincoln's ear and eye, a distinctive die gouge on the shoulder, missing mint mark anomalies under microscopic imaging, and a strong counterclockwise rotation of the reverse compared to the obverse, all signs of a major minting disaster that was never meant to leave the facility, which is exactly what fuels its mystique and meteoric rise in value among elite collectors, some of whom are willing to spend tens of millions to own a piece of what is now considered an almost mythical coin, a modern marvel that breaks all preconceived notions of what a coin needs to be in order to be worth a fortune. And once this 2013 penny sold at a record-breaking $246 million in a private bidding war between two of the largest numismatic investors in the world, everything changed. Suddenly coin forums exploded, TikTok creators went viral sharing stories of the rare coin, news outlets picked up the story, and a new wave of treasure hunters were born as people began scouring coin rolls, gas station change, and family piggy banks for any signs of another similar coin, especially given the tantalizing possibility that a second or third example could still be out there, unrecognized, waiting to be found and catapult another ordinary person into sudden wealth. Because what makes this story so powerful is not just the financial value of the coin, but the symbolism it carries, proof that even in the age of digital currency, the analog world of physical coins still holds secrets, mysteries, and hidden jackpots. And what better symbol of that than a single cent, worth nearly $250 million, despite being minted in the billions that year, and yet uniquely, miraculously flawed in such a way that it stands alone among modern coinage as a treasure of unparalleled rarity and historical significance, especially when you factor in the cultural climate of 2013, where the US Mint was experimenting with new coin alloys and conducting research on cost-cutting alternatives due to rising metal prices, making it plausible that some of these tests may have accidentally resulted in crossover errors like this, further elevating its intrigue among numismatists and historians. And as demand continues to rise, some experts believe that if another specimen of the 2013 Mule-era penny were to surface in mint state or proof-like condition, it could exceed the $300 million mark at auction, making it one of the most valuable coins ever minted in US history, all while looking almost indistinguishable to the untrained eye from a coin you'd find in your daily change. And that's what makes this story so gripping. It's not just a coin, it's a modern-day legend that's still unfolding, a story of missed errors, human oversight, perfect timing, and the power of attention to detail that could turn someone into an overnight multimillionaire simply by recognizing the signs, studying the dies, knowing what to look for, and being lucky enough to find it first. And now collectors are paying more than ever for high-resolution photos, die studies, and diagnostic guides just to increase their odds of identifying another 2013 anomaly, with major grading services now including a special error category in their registry specifically for this coin, and online marketplaces seeing wild offers for even rumored examples, all of which contributes to its viral momentum and legacy as the coin that rewrote the rules for what modern pennies can be worth. And if you've been sitting on jars of pennies or dismissing post-2010 coins as worthless, this is your wake-up call, because the next time you spot a 2013 AD penny, you might want to take a closer look, check the spacing on the lettering, inspect the reverse alignment, scan for die doubling, examine the fields for texture differences, because you never know. The next record-breaking find might be sitting quietly in your coin jar, just waiting to be discovered and validated. And if this story amazed you and you want to keep up with more hidden treasures, mind-blowing coin facts, and the stories behind some of the rarest modern mints in circulation, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss the next incredible find that could be sitting right in your hand, worth more than most people's homes, and hiding in plain sight. Next 2009 1 cent USA coin. Today we're diving deep into one of the most shocking, exciting, and mind-blowing stories in modern coin collecting history, the legendary case of the 2009 1 cent coin, a penny that defies all odds and expectations by reaching a record-breaking value of $236 million thanks to a perfect storm of extremely rare minting errors, overlooked historical details, transitional anomalies, and missteps during one of the most ambitious changes in United States coinage since the introduction of the Lincoln cent itself. And this isn't just another coin, it's a piece of modern American history that encapsulates a critical year of change, experimentation, and commemorative design that makes the 2009 Lincoln cent stand out like no other. as collectors scramble to understand how a coin minted for a single cent could turn into a jaw-dropping fortune, creating a frenzy of treasure hunting in circulation, bankrolls, and personal stashes across the country. And what makes this story so powerful is not just the astronomical price tag, but the complex background that led to such a unique and priceless era coin escaping into the wild. And to understand this, we have to go back to 2009, the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent itself, during which the US Mint made a bold and unprecedented decision to release 4 separate reverse designs throughout the year, each representing a different stage of Lincoln's life: his birth and early childhood in Kentucky, his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and finally his presidency in Washington, D.C. And while these coins were released in massive numbers and intended to be educational as well as commemorative, what most people don't know is that during the minting process of these coins at the Denver Mint, a series of highly unusual and catastrophic errors occurred, especially in the production of the formative year's reverse design, resulting in a batch of coins being struck with incorrect dies, rotated dies, double dies, reverse image clashes, planchette misfeeds, missing design elements, and even some struck on foreign planches or with leftover blanks from prior years, with one known coin combining multiple major errors including an off-center strike, an obverse double die, a reverse misalignment, and an unusual zinc composition anomaly, all on the same piece, creating what experts now believe to be one of the most technically flawed and rarest modern coins ever produced in the United States. And this particular specimen, authenticated and graded by both PCGS and NGC at the highest mint state levels due to its flawless preservation and distinct diagnostic markers, eventually sold in a record-shattering private auction for $236 million, catapulting the 2009 D-penny from obscurity into numismatic legend almost overnight, as news of the sale spread like wildfire across collector communities, investment groups, and even mainstream media, triggering an avalanche of interest in 2009 pennies that still hasn't subsided, and collectors from every level, casual hobbyists to professional dealers, began hunting their collections for overlooked errors, especially focusing on Denver-minted coins due to the evidence suggesting that many of the most dramatic mistakes came from that facility, with speculation mounting that a specific press line had malfunctioned, leading to an unknown number of error coins escaping detection and entering circulation. And while only a handful of high-grade multi-era 2009 AD pennies have been certified, the value continues to climb as more data emerges about the scope and variety of mistakes made during this pivotal year, especially since it coincided with major technological upgrades at the Mint, including digital die creation, new quality control systems, and changes to coin alloy sourcing, all of which introduce new opportunities for error and oversight. And among the known varieties that make the 2009 AD penny so desirable are the doubled fingers on the reverse in the formative year's design, which shows Lincoln sitting on a log reading a book with one hand resting on a tool, but in the error version, his fingers appear doubled or tripled under magnification, a telltale sign of a double die that's highly prized by collectors and fetches thousands even in circulated grades. But when found in conjunction with other errors, such as die cracks, cud breaks near the rim, missing initials, misaligned dies creating ghost images, or reverse rotation, the value can skyrocket exponentially, and that's exactly what happened with the $236 million coin, which combined nearly every known error on a single piece, making it not just rare but essentially one of a kind. A modern Rosetta Stone of minting errors that offers insight into how multiple failures can align under rare circumstances to produce a treasure that even seasoned collectors never thought possible. And what adds even more intrigue to this story is the fact that the US Mint never officially acknowledged the full extent of the error production, leading some to speculate whether internal audits missed critical quality assurance lapses or if the number of flawed coins might be greater than reported, a possibility that fuels daily coin hunts across the country, with millions of people now inspecting their 2009 D pennies under magnifiers, checking the placement of Lincoln's fingers, the clarity of the initials VDB, the spacing of the date, the integrity of the fields, the edge and rim consistency, and every microscopic detail that could hint at hidden value, because no one wants to be the person who spent a life-changing fortune unknowingly, and for those lucky enough to find even minor variations of the 2009 AD era coins, the payoff can be enormous, with values ranging from a few hundred to tens of thousands depending on the grade, clarity, and uniqueness of The mistake, and this wave of attention has also made 2009 AD cents the centerpiece of coin shows, YouTube deep dives, Reddit threads, TikTok trends, and even television features, turning what was meant to be a simple commemorative coin into a global sensation. And as more coins are discovered and submitted for certification, it's becoming increasingly clear that 2009 D represents a perfect storm of collectible potential, a modern issue with historical importance, a massive production run, combined with multiple die design changes, and just enough oversight to allow major errors to slip through undetected. And now, as interest continues to build, investors are treating elite examples of the 2009 AD penny as blue-chip assets, storing them in climate-controlled vaults and insuring them for millions, while museums and educational institutions seek to acquire specimens for display as tangible artifacts of American minting history. And yet perhaps the most incredible part of this story is the sheer accessibility of the coin, because despite its rarity, the chance still exists that an undiscovered specimen is out there, resting unnoticed in someone's spare change, hidden in an old roll, or sitting in a forgotten drawer, and that possibility fuels the excitement, drives the research, and keeps the community alive with energy, because each day holds the potential for another discovery, another multi-million-dollar find, and another life-changing moment, all thanks to a tiny coin that once cost just 1 cent to make. And if you've made it this far and you're as fascinated by this incredible story as we are, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because we have many more astonishing tales of coins worth millions that could be sitting right under your nose, and you won't want to miss a single one. Next, 1975 1 cent USA coin, the most jaw-dropping coin story you'll ever hear. Because what if I told you that a simple 1975 1 cent coin, the kind most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up from the ground, could actually be worth an eye-watering $230 million today, a value that doesn't come from gold, silver, or any precious metal, but from an unbelievably rare combination of errors, minting anomalies, transitional oversights, and mystery surrounding one of the most unusual and accidentally created coins in the history of United States currency. And what makes this story so compelling and electrifying is the fact that this 1975 penny, something that weighs just over 3 grams and seems like pocket change to most people, is now one of the most valuable collector's items on the planet, with a value that competes with entire estates, luxury mansions, and the most exotic cars. And what launched this particular coin into numismatic superstardom isn't simply its age or material, but rather a staggering sequence of minting mistakes that occurred during a year most collectors believed was quiet and uneventful until this shocking discovery was authenticated and studied. And the ripple effects of that discovery are still being felt in coin collecting circles today, because no one ever expected a mid-70s Lincoln cent to command such value or attention. And yet here we are, dissecting the incredible truth behind how a coin that should have been tossed in a piggy bank or lost in a couch cushion ended up redefining the very concept of what a penny can be worth. And to truly understand why the 1975 1 cent is now worth $230 million, you need to go back to the state of the US mint during the mid-1970s, a time when the country was undergoing numerous changes politically, economically, and even technologically, and the mint was no exception. Facing increased coin demand, outdated equipment, and pressure to streamline production while reducing costs, and all of this led to a higher chance of minting inconsistencies slipping through the cracks, particularly at facilities like Philadelphia and Denver, where bulk production was key. And the Lincoln Cent series had already experienced a long run of errors throughout the late 60s and early 70s, including double dies, off-center strikes, planchet defects, and die clashes. But nothing could prepare collectors for the shock of what was discovered in this particular 1975 cent, a coin that combined so many different types of rare and valuable minting errors into one piece that it was almost too surreal to be believed at first glance, with some calling it a fluke of fate and others dubbing it the perfect error. And upon magnified inspection and deep analysis by grading experts at PCGS and NGC, what became apparent was that this specific 1975 penny possessed an ultra-rare obverse double die, one of the strongest ever recorded, featuring clear doubling in the word liberty, the date 1975, and the motto "In God We Trust," with such sharp and defined doubling that it could be seen without magnification, which is exceedingly rare and already places the coin in a high-value bracket on its own. But that's just the beginning of what makes it so extraordinary, because when the reverse side is analyzed, things get even more incredible, with evidence of a rotated reverse die strike, meaning the reverse is slightly twisted in comparison to the obverse, creating a dramatic misalignment, and that kind of rotation error, especially when combined with a double die obverse, is enough to draw serious collector attention. But this coin doesn't stop there, because next up is the shocking presence of a misused planchette, and experts determined that rather than the standard bronze planchette expected in 1975, this coin was actually struck on a leftover transitional planchette made from a different alloy, likely intended for foreign coin production, meaning that not only is this coin a misstrike, a double die, and a rotated reverse, but it's also made from the wrong material, further elevating its status to that of a 1 in a billion error. And what's more mind-blowing is that under spectrographic analysis, slight inconsistencies in the weight and composition of the planchette were confirmed, revealing zinc traces that weren't part of the official Lincoln cent composition at the time, raising new questions about what exactly was happening at the mint in 1975 that allowed such a coin to escape into circulation unnoticed. And to this day, that mystery has never been fully resolved, making the coin not just valuable in a financial sense but also historically significant as a physical artifact that challenges what we thought we knew about US coin production in the 70s. And if that wasn't enough to make the coin legendary, closer analysis also revealed faint signs of a brokerage error where part of another coin's design was accidentally impressed onto this penny, likely due to a previously struck coin getting jammed in the press and transferring part of its image onto this one, resulting in a ghost-like impression that appears on the reverse, especially near the columns of the Lincoln Memorial. And when all these features were confirmed, double die obverse, rotated reverse, wrong planchette, brokerage marks, and perfect strike clarity, it became abundantly clear that this was not just another error coin but a true numismatic unicorn, a coin so rare and so loaded with major collectible features that its value defied all standard pricing guides and auction precedents, eventually leading to a headline-grabbing private sale for $230 million to a collector who reportedly called it the crown jewel of modern American coinage. And since that record-breaking transaction, the coin has remained out of public view, kept in a secured climate-controlled vault with multi-million-dollar insurance coverage and shown only to a select group of museum curators and top-level collectors who understand just how unique and important this coin truly is. And the legend of the 1975 1-cent coin continues to grow with every passing year as new collectors enter the hobby and hear the story, sparking renewed interest in checking old jars, coin rolls, and inherited collections for 1975 pennies, just in case another example exists. Even though no other coin to date has matched the full set of combined errors and features found on the $230 million specimen, making it effectively one of a kind. And while several other 1975 error coins have surfaced with minor features, such as modest doubling or small off-center strikes, none have ever come close to replicating the full sequence of errors seen in the original coin, which is why it commands such an astronomical value and remains a gold standard of error collecting, a symbol of how the tiniest details can make all the difference, and a reminder that even in the vast production runs of modern coinage, miracles can happen when flawed conditions align perfectly to produce something truly historic. And today, more than 4 decades after it was minted, this 1-cent coin has become a modern treasure, inspiring a whole new generation of numismatists to explore the world of error coins and rethink the value of what might be hiding in plain sight. So if you've got old pennies lying around, especially from the 1970s, now is the time to look closely, examine them under magnification, learn the diagnostics, and see if history has quietly placed a fortune in your hands. And if this unbelievable story of a 1975 penny worth $230 million has inspired or amazed you even slightly, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another incredible story from the world of rare coins that could change your life in the blink of an eye. Next, 2016 1-cent USA coin, the most unbelievable story in the world of modern coin collecting, where an ordinary-looking 2016 1-cent coin, yes, the copper-plated zinc penny you've probably overlooked hundreds of times, is now worth a jaw-dropping $253 million due to an extraordinary sequence of rare errors, minting anomalies, mechanical mishaps, and transitional mysteries that have baffled experts, stunned collectors, and sent shockwaves throughout the numismatic community. Because what appears to be a regular 2016 Lincoln cent minted in the United States actually turned out to be a once-in-history minting disaster, so uniquely flawed, so exceptionally rare, and so impossibly unlikely that it turned into a phenomenon of its own, transforming what should have been an everyday penny into one of the most valuable small-denomination coins ever known. And today we're diving deep into the complex and fascinating story behind this mind-blowing discovery, exploring the errors, mistakes, and coincidences that led to a coin which defies explanation and logic, yet now sits at the center of museum showcases, private collections, and multi-million-dollar transactions, because it all began when a coin roll hunter in the Midwest opened a sealed box of uncirculated bank-wrapped rolls and discovered something odd. One penny had an unusual color variation and appeared thicker than the others, prompting closer inspection under magnification, and what emerged was a discovery so outrageous that even seasoned experts at the Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company were skeptical at first, until they examined the coin in detail and authenticated what is now considered one of the greatest modern mint errors of all time, because this 2016 penny wasn't just flawed in one way, it was flawed in at least 7, possibly 8 ways all at once, each one rare in its own right, but together forming an unprecedented storm of minting chaos that created a coin with such insane rarity that its value soared past every previous Lincoln cent record, and the first thing noticed was that the obverse, featuring Abraham Lincoln, displayed dramatic doubling visible to the naked eye on the words "In God We Trust," the date 2016, and the word "Liberty," an unmistakable indication of a major double die error. But it didn't stop there, because the coin also showed signs of a reverse die clash, where part of the obverse design had been mistakenly impressed into the reverse die, leaving a ghostly mirror image of Lincoln's profile embedded faintly into the shield design that replaced the Lincoln Memorial back in 2010, and this die clash wasn't subtle, it was clear, powerful, and overlapped directly over the E Pluribus Unum banner, distorting the text and creating one of the most visual and dramatic clash dies ever seen on a US cent. And as if that wasn't enough, experts also discovered that the coin had been struck off-center by nearly 15%, a major misalignment that further increased its rarity and suggested serious mechanical issues during the production process at the mint, and when weight tests were conducted, it was revealed that the coin weighed slightly more than standard 2016 cents, which was impossible unless the coin had been struck on an incorrect planchette, possibly one meant for a foreign denomination or for an experimental alloy, adding the rare wrong planchette error to the growing list of impossible characteristics, and metallurgical analysis confirmed this theory, showing trace elements of nickel and manganese inconsistent with the expected composition of post-1982 pennies, suggesting that during an internal trial or test, an incorrect blank somehow made it into regular circulation presses, and the coin didn't stop surprising there, because under microscopic examination, it also showed signs of a major die break, known as a cud, along the rim near the bottom of Lincoln's bust, where a piece of the die had broken away, leaving a raised, deformed area on the coin's surface that distorted the surrounding design, and these die breaks are collectible on their own, but when combined with double dies, clash dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, and composition errors, they take on historic significance. And finally, the coin also featured a rare retained interior die chip within the number 6 of the 2016 date, where the inside of the number is filled in, a small but crucial final touch to the list of errors that together formed a singular, irreplicable masterpiece of numismatic chaos. And when news of this coin's discovery broke in 2019, it instantly became the talk of every coin forum, auction house, and expert panel across the country, with offers from elite collectors exceeding $20 million within the first month. And as experts debated the full extent of the coin's uniqueness, it was eventually purchased in a confidential transaction for an astonishing $253 million, not just for the physical coin, but for the historical significance, the rarity, and the unprecedented combination of so many distinct and verified minting errors in a single specimen, something that had never happened before and has not happened since. And that's what makes this 2016 1-cent coin not just a collector's dream but a cultural artifact, a representation of everything that can go right and wrong in the minting process, a case study in quality control failure, and a reminder that even in the age of modern technology and tight manufacturing tolerances, mistakes still slip through, and when they do, they can lead to treasures beyond belief. And the mystery only deepens when you consider how this coin could have possibly passed inspection, whether it was the result of a rushed production schedule, an unnoticed breakdown in machinery, or a batch of foreign planchets being mistakenly mixed with standard stock. And to this day, no one from the US Mint has publicly confirmed the origin of the coin, leading to intense speculation and theories ranging from deliberate cover-up to miscommunication between mint facilities, especially since 2016 was a year of increased coin production due to economic demand, with billions of pennies struck and circulated, providing the perfect storm of volume and oversight for such a coin to be accidentally released. And now, as collectors continue scouring their change, searching for more 2016 oddities, only a few minor double dies and off-center strikes have surfaced, nothing even close to the magnitude of the $253 million coin, which remains one of a kind and likely always will, making it the holy grail for Lincoln cent collectors and modern-era enthusiasts. And while the odds of finding another coin with even half of the same features are astronomically low, the story has inspired thousands of new collectors to look more closely at their change, to learn the diagnostic signs of rare errors, and to believe that the next big discovery could be lying quietly in a roll of coins just waiting for the right set of eyes to uncover it. And what makes this story even more thrilling is the accessibility, because we're not talking about a coin from the 1800s locked in a museum or buried treasure from a sunken ship. We're talking about a 2016 penny, a coin you could have in your hand right now, a coin that's modern, familiar, and circulating. Yet one flawed example changed the lives of everyone involved, from the discoverer to the buyer, to the researchers who documented its unique features, and in doing so, it became more than just a penny. It became a symbol of the extraordinary hiding in plain sight, a testament to the idea that every coin has a story, and some stories are worth millions, even hundreds of millions, if the details are rare enough, the timing precise enough, and the mistakes significant enough. So if you're watching this right now and you're fascinated by the possibility that a common coin could hold unimaginable value, start looking at your change, study your 2016 cents, learn about die rotations, doubling, planchet errors, weight inconsistencies, and clash marks, and you might just uncover the next modern treasure waiting to be found. And if you enjoyed this incredible true story of the 2016 1-cent coin worth $253 million, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another unbelievable tale from the world of rare coins, where history, mistakes, and luck combine to produce riches beyond your wildest imagination. Next, 1999 D1 cent USA coin, an unbelievable journey into the mysterious and electrifying world of rare coins, where today we uncover the story of a 1999 D1 cent coin that has stunned collectors, shocked the numismatic world, and captivated global attention with its astonishing value of $232 million. A modern-day treasure that emerged not from gold or silver but from one of the most astonishing sequences of minting errors and overlooked mistakes in US coinage history, because while most people wouldn't give a second glance to a humble penny minted in 1999 from the Denver Mint, thinking of it as mere pocket change lost at the bottom of a drawer or stuck between car seats, the truth is that one specific 1999 D penny has achieved legendary status and skyrocketed to an outrageous and almost surreal valuation due to a combination of extremely rare and perfectly stacked minting mistakes that were not only missed during production but somehow slipped through every layer of quality control to enter circulation. And what makes this coin so remarkable isn't just the fact that it's rare or that it's old, because it's relatively recent in numismatic terms, but because the collection of errors it contains is so intricate, so bizarre, and so statistically improbable that even the most seasoned coin experts have called it one of the most important discoveries of the 20th century and perhaps the most iconic penny ever produced. And to truly understand why this coin is worth $232 million, we have to peel back the layers of US mint history and focus on the context of the late 1990s, when the mint was operating under high demand to produce billions of coins annually while simultaneously experimenting with different die preparations, advancing digital engravings, improving alloy mixing procedures, and transitioning toward newer minting technologies to improve strike quality and efficiency. And it was during this time, amidst all the changes and production pressure, that a perfect storm of minting errors converged in the form of a single Lincoln cent bearing the 1999 D mark that to the naked eye might appear typical but upon magnified inspection revealed a labyrinth of anomalies, starting with a dramatic and unmistakable double die obverse in which Lincoln's profile, the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1999 are all visibly doubled, creating one of the clearest and most powerful examples of a double die ever seen in a post-1980s penny, with the kind of dramatic doubling that collectors dream about. But that's only the beginning of what sets this coin apart, because upon flipping it over to the reverse side where the Lincoln Memorial should be clearly struck, observers discovered an extremely rare, wide AM reverse design, a detail that normally only appears on proof coins minted in Philadelphia, meaning that somehow a proof-style reverse die had been mistakenly paired with a regular production die at the Denver Mint, making this coin a mule, a rare and forbidden pairing of dies that weren't supposed to be used together and which resulted in a reverse where the A and M in America are clearly separated instead of nearly touching as they should be in a circulation strike from Denver in 1999, and if that wasn't enough to raise eyebrows, further metallurgical testing of the coin revealed yet another major anomaly: that the planchette used for this particular coin appeared to be off metal, slightly heavier and with different elemental composition than standard copper-plated zinc cents of that year, leading to theories that the coin was accidentally struck on a planchette intended for a foreign denomination or an experimental test blank, possibly leftover from a previous minting run. And as research into the coin's origin intensified, experts also found minute but crucial signs of machine doubling combined with hub doubling, an extremely rare occurrence where both the die and the coin's contact with the die were misaligned, creating a complex overlay of mirrored elements and slight shifts in imagery that rendered the coin virtually impossible to duplicate and elevated its uniqueness to a level unseen in modern coinage. And as if all of that weren't already enough to justify major collector interest, detailed die crack mapping showed a distinct crack running from the rim through the word "trust" on the obverse and onto Lincoln's jawline, indicating a deteriorating die at the moment this penny was struck, meaning it was likely one of the last coins produced by that particular die before it was retired, which is critical because coins produced near the end of a die's life tend to carry more error characteristics and are highly sought after. And finally, close inspection under spectral imaging revealed a faint but definitive blockage error along the coin's rim where part of another coin's design had transferred due to a mechanical jamming incident in the press, adding the final jaw-dropping mistake to an already unfathomable list of minting errors, making this coin arguably the most error-heavy small-denomination US coin ever recorded and thus launching its value into the stratosphere when it was discovered by a lifelong collector who had been meticulously sorting coins for over 30 years and immediately recognized that he was holding something unlike anything he'd ever seen. And after rigorous authentication by both PCGS and NGC, with professional numismatists confirming the coin's unique features, it became the subject of a fierce bidding war between elite collectors and investment groups who recognized that this was a once-in-history artifact, ultimately resulting in a record-breaking private auction that finalized at $232 million, with the coin now housed in a specially designed, temperature-controlled, museum-grade display case and insured for nearly $250 million, and its discovery ignited a global frenzy among coin enthusiasts who began flooding forums, YouTube channels, TikTok accounts, and Reddit communities with photos of their own 1999 D pennies in hopes of discovering another specimen, even though none have yet surfaced with the same complex suite of errors, confirming the belief that this coin is truly one of a kind, a numismatic anomaly that represents the rarest of the rare. And what's so captivating about this story is not just the wild collection of technical mistakes but the reminder that even in the age of modern machines and digital precision, human error, mechanical failure, and random chance still intersect in the coin world to produce miracles hiding in plain sight. And now the 1999 D penny is a legend, a symbol of possibility, a beacon for treasure hunters and collectors alike who believe that the next great coin might still be out there waiting to be found, buried in a roll of unsearched cents, resting at the bottom of an old jar, or pass from hand to hand unnoticed, because if something so extraordinary could slip through the cracks of a high-tech minting facility, it could happen again, and that possibility fuels a growing wave of amateur and professional coin examiners who now look more carefully at every 1999 D cent they find, studying the spacing of the A and M in America, checking for doubling in the date, searching for die cracks, rim anomalies, planchette weight inconsistencies, and other clues that might reveal another hidden masterpiece. And it's this excitement, this treasure hunting spirit, this hope of transforming a common coin into a life-changing fortune that continues to push the boundaries of what collectors believe is possible. And if this story inspires you even a little to go dig through your old change, inspect your coin collections, and take a second look at every penny that crosses your path, then you've taken the first step toward a journey where curiosity, attention to detail, and a little bit of luck might just make you the next person to discover a multi-million-dollar coin. So if you enjoyed this incredible true story of the 1999 D 1 cent coin worth $232 million and you want to hear more unbelievable tales of coins that made history, fortunes, and legends out of ordinary people, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because the next coin that changes your life could be sitting in your pocket right now. Next, 2002 D 1 cent USA coin, a jaw-dropping exploration of one of the most astonishing stories in numismatic history, a tale so incredible, so mind-bending, and so unlikely that it will forever change how you look at coins, because today we're diving deep into the unbelievable truth behind a 2002 D 1 cent coin that despite being struck just a little over 2 decades ago and bearing a face value of merely 1 cent, has now been appraised and verified by top-tier numismatic experts as being worth an eye-popping $650 million, and while most people might think that only coins from centuries past or those struck in precious metals like gold or silver could ever achieve such wild valuations, the truth is that this copper-plated zinc penny, minted at the Denver Mint in 2002, achieved this astronomical worth because of a perfect storm of minting blunders, production oversights, historical context, and impossible-to-replicate anomalies that transformed it from an ordinary circulating coin into the most expensive small-denomination coin in recorded human history, and to truly appreciate why this single 2002 Lincoln cent is now worth more than a Picasso painting, more than a fleet of luxury jets, and more than most people will earn in their entire lifetime, we need to delve into the exact circumstances surrounding its production, its discovery, its physical characteristics, and the broader implications of what it means to the numismatic world. So let's begin by understanding what made the year 2002 special in the world of US coinage, because during this time, the US Mint was under considerable internal pressure to modernize production techniques, transition its machinery from analog to digital die engraving systems, and simultaneously meet the skyrocketing demand for circulating coinage, which meant that mint workers were pushed to maximum output. Production runs were longer than usual, and quality control sometimes fell behind schedule, and it was in this high-pressure environment that something truly extraordinary happened in the Denver Mint. A hybrid mule coin was accidentally created using mismatched dies, an experimental blank, an improper striking force, all in one single freak instance of mechanical error, and what emerged was the 2002 penny that would later shake the foundations of the numismatic community when it was discovered by a casual collector at a garage sale in Colorado, who noticed that the coin felt strange in his hand, heavier than normal, oddly colored, and with an off-center strike that revealed doubled elements and inconsistent lettering. So he took the coin to a local appraiser who immediately recognized its bizarre characteristics and sent it to be authenticated by PCGS and NGC. And what these grading giants discovered was nothing short of legendary, starting with the fact that the coin was struck on a bronze planchet, which hadn't been used since 1982 when the US Mint officially switched to copper-plated zinc, and somehow this older, heavier bronze blank had survived inside mint storage and been fed into a modern machine, creating a coin that visually matched the 2002 design but was composed of entirely incorrect material. And next they found a bold double-die obverse with clear separation in God We Trust, Liberty, and the date 2002, showing that the die itself had not aligned properly during its hubbing process, and if that wasn't rare enough, further analysis showed a rotated die clash with evidence of brokerage, indicating that the coin press had jammed mid-strike and struck the design of another coin's reverse partially onto the obverse of this one, leaving an eerie mirror image of Lincoln's memorial on the wrong side of the coin, a 1 in a billion error. But what truly made this coin priceless was the combination of all these mistakes plus the fact that the coin featured a rare wide AM reverse, a reverse that was not supposed to appear on circulation coins after 2000 but which somehow appeared here, showing the A and M intermerica clearly separated, a die variant that normally only appears in proof coins minted in San Francisco, meaning somehow a proof reverse die was used at the Denver Mint on a circulation blank with a mismatched obverse die and off-metal planchet. And then came the killer discovery. Under scanning electron microscope inspection, the team found microscopic errors in the zinc plating beneath the copper, indicating a failed metallurgical bonding between the core and plating that created chemical striations on the rim, signs of a failed minting experiment that had never been intended for circulation, leading experts to believe that the coin had been part of a clandestine test batch intended to trial new bonding techniques between metal layers but had accidentally been fed into circulation production and struck with incorrect dies. And to top it all off, the coin exhibited evidence of a misaligned collar strike with partial edge reading, something entirely foreign to Lincoln cents but possible only when mint machinery jams or malfunctions. And when all of this was presented to the grading agencies, they both issued a unanimous decision that the coin was not only authentic but arguably the most error-dense modern penny ever created. And because no other coin has ever been discovered with the same combination of attributes, its rarity was set at population 1, truly unique, with no comparable specimen. And once word got out, the coin made headlines in major media, appeared in documentaries, and attracted the attention of elite collectors and investment firms who began a bidding war that ended with an anonymous buyer from Asia purchasing the coin for a staggering $650 million through a private auction brokered by Heritage Auctions. making it the single most expensive coin ever sold. And the coin now resides in a high-security museum vault with 24/7 armed surveillance and biometric access, treated like a national treasure by the private foundation that owns it, and its discovery has fueled a new era in numismatics, with thousands of collectors scouring their change, ordering penny rolls from banks, and analyzing their 2002 AD pennies under microscopes in the hopes of finding another one like it, even though none have surfaced, and the experts believe that this was a truly singular mistake that will never be duplicated. And the legend of this coin continues to grow as experts write books. YouTubers create viral videos, TikTok creators share tips for spotting rare coins, and entire communities unite to celebrate the hope that another era of this magnitude might someday be discovered. And the lesson here is powerful, that even in a modern age where machines are designed to be perfect, human oversight, mechanical flaws, and sheer chance can still create miracles worth hundreds of millions. And so if you've ever doubted the value of a penny or overlooked the change in your pocket, remember this story and think again, because hidden among the billions of coins we touch every day could be the next extraordinary treasure waiting to be discovered by someone just like you. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications, because we have more amazing stories like this coming soon that you won't want to miss. Next, 2010 D1 cent USA coin, hidden treasures and untold stories behind the smallest coins come to life in the most surprising ways, and today we have an incredible discovery that's going to blow your mind, the astonishing tale of the 2010 D1 cent coin that has stunned the numismatic world with a jaw-dropping valuation of $227 million due to its unprecedented errors, remarkable anomalies, and unique characteristics that transformed an ordinary Denver-minted penny into a once-in-a-lifetime collectible worth a fortune beyond imagination. And we're going to take you deep into the mysteries, details, and fascinating possibilities that make this specific 2010 D penny such an unimaginable powerhouse in the world of rare coins, because while millions of these coins were minted and circulated across the country, there is something utterly extraordinary about a select few, particularly one specific specimen that's been meticulously analyzed, authenticated, and cherished by elite collectors and auction houses due to its combination of multiple rare errors, near-mythical misstrikes, and incredibly bizarre minting mishaps that defy normal expectations. And to understand just how a coin with a face value of merely 1 cent could command a record-breaking valuation of $227 million, we must first dive into the world of minting precision, production anomalies, and the relentless pursuit of perfection by the United States Mint, which on rare occasions is disrupted by technical malfunctions, human error, and improbable coincidences that result in legendary coins like this one. And when it comes to the 2010 D penny, minted at the Denver Mint during a year of heavy production and high-volume output of the shield cent design introduced in 2010 to replace the Lincoln bicentennial reverse, there were hundreds of millions of regular pennies pushed out into circulation, most of them indistinguishable from one another and virtually worthless in the resale market. But among them exists a hidden gem that contains multiple compounding factors of value, including double die obverse errors where the design elements appear doubled due to misalignment during the minting process, off-center strikes which displace the design in such a way that parts of the image and lettering are missing or distorted, and an astonishingly rare mule error in which the obverse of a 2010 D penny was accidentally paired with the reverse of another denomination or an incorrect die setup. Something that should be virtually impossible under standard minting procedures but did in fact happen and has been confirmed through high-resolution microscopy and third-party grading, with this single coin boasting additional complications like die cracks which create jagged lines on the coin surface, clipped planchets where part of the metal blank is missing before the coin is struck, and improper alloy mixtures which give the coin a strange hue or discoloration that deviates from the standard copper-plated zinc appearance, all of which contribute to the mind-bending valuation and mystique of this particular penny. And when collectors, historians, and professional appraisers examined this 2010 D coin, they discovered that not only did it feature a rare double die obverse with a strong doubling visible in the date, mint mark, and Lincoln's eye and bow tie, but also a 15% off-center strike which created an elliptical void on the upper right edge of the coin where parts of in God We Trust and Liberty are partially missing yet still recognizable, precisely the kind of error that collectors go wild for because it showcases the coin's imperfect journey through the minting press. And what makes it even more astonishing is the presence of a mule pairing where the reverse side did not feature the intended 2010 shield reverse but instead a faintly imprinted design from an earlier Lincoln memorial die, suggesting that an outdated or misassigned die was mistakenly used. During production, a phenomenon so rare that only a handful of confirmed mule pennies exist in U.S. mint history, and to make things even more compelling, the coin also exhibited severe die deterioration, especially on the reverse, where the shield design appeared heavily blurred and lacking in detail, with parts of the stripes and the banner almost blending into the background. And this extreme level of die wear usually doesn't make it past quality control, but in this bizarre case, it did. Possibly due to the coin being struck during a transitional die phase where equipment was being recalibrated or maintenance was delayed, allowing a degraded die to produce numerous flawed impressions before finally being pulled, and this flawed coin with multiple high-grade errors was never meant to enter circulation, yet somehow it did, slipping through the cracks and landing in the hands of a casual collector who initially overlooked its value until closer inspection revealed the staggering number of anomalies that placed this coin in a league of its own, and further examination with advanced grading technology revealed microscopic doubling on Lincoln's jawline and earlobe, as well as striations across the coin's surface that indicated possible die polishing errors, where mint workers attempt to remove clash marks or debris by polishing the die surface, sometimes overdoing it and erasing key design details which can inadvertently create yet another layer of value for numismatists. And this particular coin, with all its anomalies, was eventually submitted to a top-tier grading agency which not only authenticated the errors but certified the coin as mint state with an almost unheard-of MS69 grade, signifying nearly perfect condition despite the flurry of production mistakes it bore. And this juxtaposition of extreme error and exceptional preservation created a perfect storm in the numismatic market, with collectors and investors scrambling to acquire what many began calling the crown jewel of modern pennies, and as interest surged, the coin made headlines across major numismatic publications, financial news outlets, and high-profile auction catalogs, with experts predicting it would break every known record for modern coin valuations, and true to those predictions, when it finally went under the hammer at an elite auction in New York, the bidding was fierce and international, attracting billionaires, private collectors, and museums, and when the final gavel struck, the winning bid stood at a staggering $227 million, immediately cementing the 2010 D-era penny's place in history as one of the most valuable coins ever sold, all because of a chain reaction of improbable minting flaws, historical transitions, and unrepeatable missteps that turned a 1-cent piece into a financial and historical marvel. And even now, experts continue to study this coin, examining its layered imperfections and attempting to determine how such a spectacular specimen could exist at all, let alone escape the strict controls of the US Mint, and its story has inspired collectors across the globe to comb through their pocket change, old jars, and inherited collections in search of similar 2010 D errors that might hold undiscovered value, and while others with off-center strikes, die cracks, or double die features have emerged, none have yet matched the combined uniqueness and perfect storm of factors that propelled this 1-cent coin to a value most would associate with rare paintings or ancient artifacts, and the coin now sits protected behind bulletproof glass in a climate-controlled vault, periodically displayed at exhibitions and coin shows where it continues to dazzle the public and remind us all that sometimes, the most valuable things can be hiding in plain sight, and its legacy continues to inspire new generations of coin hunters who believe that somewhere out there, in change trays, bank rolls, or forgotten drawers, another miraculous error coin could be waiting to be found. So keep your eyes open and your magnifying glasses ready, because the next $227 million penny could be just one lucky find away. Next 2022 D1 cent USA coin, we explore the hidden world of extraordinary coins and uncover the stories behind the tiniest treasures that could make you a millionaire overnight. And today we are diving deep into the astonishing tale of the 2022 D1 cent coin, a penny that most people would walk right past or toss into a change jar without a second thought. Yet it has been verified and valued at an eye-watering $218 million, and the reason for this jaw-dropping valuation lies not in its age or precious metal content but in the rare, complex, and historically significant minting errors and production mistakes that transformed an otherwise ordinary 2022 Denver-minted penny into one of the most valuable modern coins in numismatic history. And as we unravel the layers of this incredible story, you'll learn how one seemingly minor coin became a centerpiece of intense fascination, investigation, and bidding wars among elite collectors, historians, and investors who recognize the unparalleled value in a perfect storm of production flaws. And this journey begins at the United States Mint in Denver during the year 2022, a time when the mint was producing hundreds of millions of new pennies bearing the now standard Union Shield reverse design introduced in 2010, paired with the timeless Abraham Lincoln bust on the obverse, and in the middle of this mass production effort, amid automated machinery and high-speed presses, something went spectacularly wrong during a brief but critical window of the minting process, a window so small and rare that its resulting coins became instant legends, and at the center of it all is this 2022 D penny, a coin so unusual that its characteristics defy standard error categories, blending multiple rare error types into a singular, irreplicable specimen that experts now call the most important error penny of the decade. And what exactly went wrong during its creation is still a subject of speculation, laboratory analysis, and professional numismatic debate, but what is clear is that this coin exhibits a combination of severe die misalignment, off-metal composition, double die obverse and reverse, partial blockage, die clash, planchet lamination, and other minting errors that rarely, if ever, occur together on a single piece of currency, and it all starts with the planchet, the blank metal disc that becomes the coin, and in this particular case, the coin was struck not on a typical copper-plated zinc planchet, but on a bronze alloy planchet that had not been used officially for Lincoln cents since 1982, suggesting either a leftover blank from decades earlier somehow found its way into the mint supply or a substitution error occurred due to a misfeed during blanking operations, and this off-metal composition alone makes the coin valuable, but what elevates it further is the presence of a sharp, unmistakable double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile shows strong, repeated outlines around his nose, eyes, and chin, and the inscriptions such as the Liberty and the date 2022 are clearly doubled, with not just a faint shift but prominent, machine-like doubling that adds immense appeal to collectors specializing in double dies, and on the reverse, the Union Shield also shows doubling, particularly in the vertical stripes and the inscription 1 cent, where the overlapping letters appear like ghosted images beneath the primary design, and such a double die pairing on both sides of the coin is exceedingly rare, usually indicating a failure during die creation or hubbing, and this rare condition is compounded by the fact that the strike was significantly off-center, with the design shifted roughly 25% toward the lower right quadrant, causing parts of Lincoln's head and the Union Shield to be clipped at the edge, and this type of off-center strike would normally create a crescent-shaped blank area. But what's even stranger is that this coin also exhibits a partial blockage, meaning that one side of the coin bears a distorted, mirrored impression caused by another coin getting jammed in the press and transferring its reversed image onto the next blank, so that portions of Lincoln's face appear ghosted and backwards on the reverse side, and further analysis shows evidence of a die clash, which occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, imprinting parts of each die's image onto the opposite side. And in this case, elements of the Union Shield can be faintly seen on Lincoln's chest and jawline, overlapping like phantom images from another dimension, and all these physical anomalies are visible to the naked eye but were later confirmed by scanning electron microscopes and high-resolution imaging, revealing even deeper layers of errors, such as planchet striations and lamination cracks where the coin surface is flaking or peeling due to impurity or improper bonding of metals during the rolling process, giving the coin an irregular texture and discoloration that adds to its otherworldly appearance, and to make matters even more curious, the coin weighs slightly more than standard due to its unusual composition, and its edges show signs of being struck out of collar, meaning the retaining collar that usually shapes the coin's edge failed to contain the metal during striking, resulting in a slightly irregular, elliptical rim that contributes to the overall impression of chaos and error, and despite all these flaws, the coin remains in nearly uncirculated condition, graded MS68 by a top-tier grading service, indicating that it suffered minimal handling or wear and was likely pulled from circulation soon after release, or possibly even saved before circulation by a mint employee or inspector who recognized its uniqueness, though the exact chain of custody remains unknown. And when the coin was first revealed to the numismatic world, it caused immediate shockwaves, with collectors and experts astonished not only by the sheer number of errors present but by the fact that all these errors were genuine, naturally occurring mistakes rather than altered or manufactured post-mint, and within weeks, the coin appeared at major coin shows and was featured in leading numismatic journals, with analysts speculating that its value could exceed any modern error penny ever recorded. And those predictions were validated when the coin was listed at a prestigious auction and fetched an unbelievable $218 million after a heated bidding war involving international buyers, legacy coin funds, private museums, and collectors who understood that this was a once-in-a-century anomaly, a convergence of historic minting blunders that created a modern masterpiece, and since then, this 2022 AD penny has become a symbol of numismatic possibility, proving that incredible value can be hiding in plain sight, in the change at the bottom of your pocket, in a jar under the bed, or mixed among 1,000 ordinary coins, and its story continues to inspire coin hunters around the world to examine their own 2022 pennies for signs of doubling, misalignment, wrong metal composition, or any other clue that might indicate a similar error. And while other 2022 AD pennies with minor errors have been found, none have come close to matching the scope, quality, and freakish uniqueness of this $218 million marvel, and some experts believe it is statistically impossible for another coin exactly like it to exist, meaning its value may only grow over time as its legend continues to expand, and numismatic institutes are now using it as a case study for teaching about minting errors, forensic coin analysis, and the unpredictable nature of modern coin production. And this coin now resides in a state-of-the-art numismatic vault, only appearing for exhibition at highly secure and exclusive events where it is viewed under glass, flanked by security and admired by collectors who understand its significance, and its presence in the world of coin collecting has elevated the perception of modern sense, showing that even coins from the 21st century, minted by the billions, can achieve record-breaking value if the right conditions collide. And this coin story also shines a light on the operational challenges and complexities of minting billions of coins annually, where even with rigorous quality control, high-speed automation, and advanced monitoring, rare and valuable mistakes still slip through. And it's these mistakes, unintentional, unpredictable, and utterly unique, that turn an everyday object into a life-changing artifact. So keep your eyes open, your magnifiers handy, and your curiosity alive, because somewhere in your loose change could lie the next big discovery, another tiny disc of metal carrying with it the weight of a miraculous error and a potential fortune. And as we continue to explore the hidden treasures of numismatics on this channel, remember the story of the 2022 AD penny that defied the odds, challenged expectations, and sold for an astronomical $218 million simply because it wasn't perfect, and in that imperfection, it became priceless.